there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're talking Love and Marriage Huntsville. You guys know why you were here. Today we are talking because Latisha and Marsau Scott have released a rolling out interview that came out about a couple of hours ago. Crystal Jordan wrote it, who often does a lot of these interviews with the reality TV stars on her platform. And I want to preface this by saying, because there's a lot still that I have to unpack about some of the comments that Carlos King made. Again, there's no hatred of anybody. I'm just over the hypocrisy, and I'm over the negative things that were said and done to Melody Cherie Rogers, and we're all supposed to just ignore it and just be like, oh, black excellence, to the same people that maligned Melody Cherie Rogers for all of these years. And now all of a sudden that they're getting opportunities, we're supposed to just, turn a blind eye to it, right? And then a couple of other things I have before I read this article. For whatever reason, Marsau and Latisha are being referred to as favorites, and I have no idea where that lie came from. And also, there is a reference to Mel and Martell, and basically as a comparison to say, hey, we are still together, we are representative of black love, but actually on the show, the black love that you guys are representative is your husband, Latisha, talking down on you and not respecting you and saying that you're from the other side of the tracks, not taking you seriously, doesn't feel that you're educated enough to do all these things, and everything else, has your name in some of the businesses, but will not allow you to actually run the business if it goes under. So those were just a couple things off the top, right? So let me get into this article. So the header says, Marsau and Latisha Scott celebrate black love and entrepreneurship. The stars of Love and Marriage Huntsville are putting this Alabama city on the map through various business endeavors. February has the distinction of being a celebration marked on calendars for both Black history and Black love. Never heard that before. The latter is best played out by three successful black couples on the hit reality show Love and Marriage Huntsville. The show's Huntsville, Alabama notables include Melody and Martell Holt, Maurice and wife Kimmy Scott, and fan favorites Marsau and Latisha Scott. Although the Holt's volatile relationship ended in a hotly contested divorce, the Scotts continue to savor the love, although the couples had to, the couple, because this is also shade to Maurice and Kimmy, but I'm sure they're not going to get a lawsuit. I'm sure they're not going to sue their brother and sister-in-law for this, by only referring to Latisha and Marsau as being the only couple to stand the test of time, you guys. So they're saying the Scotts, meaning only Scotts 1.0, continue to savor the love, and although the couple had to persevere through public scrutiny and constant speculation on the status of their relationship and commitment, audiences were first introduced to the twosome in 2019 on Carlos King's own series, Love and Marriage Huntsville, along with the two other black entrepreneurial and founding couples of the real estate venture, The Comeback Group, which is no more. The Scott's friendship with Melody and Martell Holt, as well as with his brother Maurice and sister-in-law Kimmy, was the focal point of the show. This may be the story that hasn't been told. Our group started with a conversation Melody and I had about a black boy being killed in Huntsville, and how as parents all of us were feeling that pain. I remember saying to my children had a bigger chance of being a victim of a mass shooting than being shot by another black kid because of where they live. Your environment weighs into that more than anything. All of us were doing real estate construction and investing. From that conversation with Melody, and I talked about how this bothered us and how we all needed to give back to our community, is how the Comeback Group was started. Marsau explains. One thing Marsau is going to do is mention Melody Cherie Rogers unprovoked, you guys. So here we go. The last 7 seasons, well, technically the last 6 seasons, we're currently filming the 7th season, but nonetheless, the last 7 seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville chronicled the lives of the Scott family with their 3 children attempting to live in their version of the American dream. Over the past 6 seasons, Latisha has completed her postgraduate degree, and the Scott's daughters, Macy and Mila,
I think it's Macy and Mila, launched a natural hair care product line. Their eldest, Marsau Jr., is currently preparing to graduate from high school. When you look back at the first episode and the kids are so small, I think Marsau Jr. was 11 and watching them, and you can see how far they've come. They've grown up on TV with fans on the show, Latisha adds. And this is why I'm annoyed with Martell so much, because we literally have seen the Holt kids from season 1, episode 1, and their progression and all of the things that they have going on. And because Martell is so jealous and petty, he basically removed the kids having that opportunity to still be on camera and grow with the other kids, the other couples, which is bogus. He just completely, he thought he was hurting Mel, but he hurt himself by basically ruining, any storyline that didn't revolve around Melody Cherie Rogers, and not having a storyline focusing on yourself as a single father. So I feel a certain way about that it's limited on what kids now are going to be shown. The show is limited now also on what moms of the show are going to be shown. Apparently, if you are, a reincarnation of Show Enough and willing to be messy and attack Mel, apparently you get screen time for that. But if you are a decent human being and you present yourself with class and elegance and grace, that's not good enough for a reality show, apparently. So that's not black excellence to me. So then he says, Marsau asserts that although the show does not always highlight the real work they put in as entrepreneurs, well, what is the work, Marsau? He is confident that the example of young black entrepreneurs working together and celebrating family is important. But what are you guys doing on the show? You are filming in empty offices. I can't hype up black, the Cigar Lounge. I mean, it is what it is, right? But let us not. You don't see everything we're doing because it may not fit into an episode or even into a season. Well, here's the thing. Mel actually has 20 businesses, so it makes sense that we're obviously not going to see anything. However, the fact that they only focus on the negative and focus on Marsau, or whoever else in the cast that wants to have a go at Melody, leading the charge, of course, her ex-husband, we do not get to see the business. We see the drama and the BS. So then he says, since everything doesn't fit into an episode right now, we are working on a hotel, but that takes time. You're not going to see that started and completed in a season. That takes time for us because we're building things that aren't for television, Marsau remarks. The Scotts say their commitment to economic empowerment for the black community is their collective why as a couple. It is important to understand we won't move the needle on economic empowerment independently. The power is in becoming interdependent as a community. We need one another. I am proud that we are able to show that example on the show. Marsau says, the focus the past few seasons has just been foolishness, but okay. The Scotts have continued to put their time and energy into practice and will host their second Black with a QE Business Expo in Atlanta on Saturday, February 24th. The event is an opportunity for established and aspiring business owners to network with like-minded individuals. The Scotts want the expo to be considered a think tank for entrepreneurs to focus on collaboration rather than competition. This is our second expo, and we're really excited. Amazon came on as our partner and amplified everything, so we're grateful for that. We have amazing speakers like Dr. Heavenly from Married to Medicine, the Wall Street Trapper, a wealthy building expert, Brittany Ricard, and so much more, Latisha says. The Scotts have managed their reality television fame as a partnership. The emotional drama on Love and Marriage Huntsville has included rumors about the strength of Marsau and Latisha's marriage, but the talk hasn't permeated the Scotts' commitment to each other. You would think that more people would be excited to see a black family commit to stay together and support one another, but that's not always the case, Latisha says. You have the one to talk, Latisha, because you're all about exposing all of the issues in everybody else's marriage, but the audacity of these quotes. Marsau echoes his wife's sentiments, but says that there are more people who champion black love and family unity, but their voices are not as often as loud as those who don't. The negativity is always louder, but I don't think that's the majority he shares. Here's the problem, Marsau. This is not positive representation of Black love in any capacity. This is showing toxic love and dysfunctional love and misogynistic love. So therefore, we're going to call it out. The Scott's first Black with a QE Expo was held in their hometown and included many of their castmates and local friends. Well, wait. We need to clarify. Originally, they were trying to do a casino night that was not authorized to gamble in Alabama to do this event. So then that is when they had to combine this with a comeback group, Black with a QUE Expo. Notice that's missing from this article. But nonetheless, I included many of their castmates and local friends. We wanted to share the platform by giving people the opportunity to have their businesses showcased. I told everyone to wear their logo and know that this was going to be televised. So bring their best Marsau laughs. Even though you got embarrassed by Tiffany and some of the people in the Q&A session for not, properly answering questions about venture capitalists and other things. But nonetheless, we'll continue. Love and Marriage Huntsville highlighted some of the mistakes the couple made in organizing and coordinating their flagship expo. Latisha says she was quickly over the constant criticism leveled at them when their intention was to do something positive for the community. Here we go. Here's the gaslighting. Marsau admits they made some mistakes in their initial attempt, but says taking the criticism is part of the growth and becoming better. I never shield away from criticism. In fact, I prefer it because it makes me better. I say the haters are going to mess around and make me perfect. I'll take everything you said and use it to sharpen my skill set. So we welcome the criticism. It can only make us better, Marsau affirms. And then for more information about the Black with a QE Business Expo, visit MLSFoundation.net. Photos provided by OWN. I feel very gaslit in this article, and I feel as though, Marsau and Latisha, just like his brother Maurice, they care so much about what quote-unquote the haters or what the negativity is saying, but they're leaving out their contributions to the negativity, their contributions to the hate, and this notion that we're supposed to just treat you, like, everything's on the up and up because you're Black and because you're putting on an event, but we're supposed to ignore all of the mean things that you've said and done to your cast members, both on and off camera, the inappropriate behavior of your mom, Latisha, coming for kids' hair and their texture and all these things and comparing them to your grandkids and trying to, cause a war and cause a fight on the show. So we're just going to ignore all of these things, and then the treatment of your cousin and just being in your feelings that she's on the show to begin with and just pissed off that, she's not Team Scott, so therefore you just disown her and just spill her tea unprovoked and just keep calling her a drug addict and keep labeling her and all of these things, and we're supposed to just accept that, because you're doing something good for the community, that we should ignore all of the bad things, right? And this is just as bad as the people who still defend Martell to this day. And is like, well, I don't have any issues with Martell, or Martell didn't do anything to me personally, right, Dr. Heavenly? So therefore, we're supposed to just ignore all of the other, behavior that Martell does and gaslights others and treats women like crap and tries to humiliate and embarrass them and lie on them. And we're supposed to just, turn a blind eye because you're going to be a speaker at an event. Make it make sense, you guys. What is happening? So that essentially was the article. Like I said, I felt there was a lot of errors in there. I felt gaslit. I felt like this article was prepped by Carlos King and ChatGPT to try to make the Scotts appear more likable. I am curious, as much as Maurice is obsessed with people not talking about him, what he thinks of his brother and Latisha being propped as the it couple now for Love and Marriage Huntsville, which I told you was going to be the plan for the start. after the failed attempts of Martell to not even bother to try to attempt to co-parent with Melody Cherie Rogers to try to get things back on track, and completely just, was living in land of delusion and just completely going off the rails. This is what we have now. We have somebody who is so obsessed with what the haters are saying or what any type of criticism is existing that they are losing focus of the big picture. They're losing focus of what actually is important, right? Because again, isn't it supposed to be about giving back to the Black community? Isn't it supposed to be, shouldn't you have spent more of this article actually talking about the Black with the QE Expo and what it's supposed to bring, how long it's going to be, where it's at, a little bit more information about some of the speakers and panels that you plan on having, how many vendors approximately you're expected to show up for this thing, whether or not tickets are sold out, whether or not people still can purchase tickets, like where was that in the article? Instead, it starts off throwing shade at Mel and Martell for not lasting as a couple. It refers to Latisha and Marsau as the fan favorite, which I don't know where that lie came from, and then it tries to prop them up is because of the fact that they're still married, that means they're good representation of Black love, and I'm not buying it. Carlos King even said on both Love and Marriage Huntsville and on the Bravo Real Housewives shows that there are couples who strictly stay married for the simple fact of trying to put on a show for the audience, even though the show is supposed to be your reality. So technically we don't know how legit this marriage is outside of what you present to us. But we hear all of the chaos surrounding it, and your own family exposed your marriage. That's what's so crazy. Your own family, season 1, was dragging you and Maurice and your marriages, and now all of a sudden we are supposed to just pretend and have amnesia that we didn't hear all of these things that were said about you guys at the very beginning, because you guys wanted to focus in on all of Martell's cheating so you could hide behind that and not talk about your issues. So now, as a result of you not having to tell your real story, now you can present this false narrative that you're the it couple, that you're the power couple of the show, which unfortunately for you, even though we feel how we feel about Martell and how dirty he did Mel, you can't deny that they were and still are the draw of the show. But we have an idiot who decided to fumble, everything, because his ego could not allow his ex-wife to be more successful than him. And it completely destroyed, everything that the show was supposed to be. And so now people who have hid behind these, the issues between Mel and Martell all these seasons, now they're being propped up as like, hey, we've made it, you guys. like what? Like what in the world? Just because, and again, this is just giving show enough imprint all over this, that as long as you are still legally somebody's spouse, that is something to brag about. But if it's dysfunctional, if it's toxic, if there's ABUSE or CHEAT taking place in the marriage, we're supposed to just ignore that because that's not being shown on the show. And if you are, being sued and, not following through with all of these alleged business ventures you supposedly had, then we're supposed to just turn a blind eye to it. And now all of a sudden you're saying that we're helping you become better. Here's the thing. I don't want scammers. I want legit people. It's okay to admit if you don't know something. The problem is you came into this assuming that you knew everything and trying to talk down to other people, but you, Marsau, keep referencing everything that Melody Cherie Rogers told you as to why this Black Expo was existing in the first place. I noticed that came from Marsau and not Latisha. Make it make sense, you guys. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this rolling out article, this representation that Latisha and Marsau are representative of Black love. Make it make sense, because I'm even trying to think off of the top of my head, a reality TV couple Maybe Sanya and her husband Ross. I forget his first name right now, but nonetheless, Aaron Ross from Real Housewives of Atlanta. I felt their marriage and their family dynamic was a good representation of Black love. Now, as far as everything else, as it pertained to the interaction with the group, that's a whole separate conversation in itself. But their dynamic as a couple, I actually like from a reality TV standpoint. But that's not the norm for most of these Black couples that are on reality TV. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.